Hello, this is Renee Manfrey, and we are live. And I appreciate you being on tonight. I am going to be going over some basic things that I feel most people are going through when it comes down to either business and growing pains and struggles. I'm going to share some information on some different areas where I'm finding myself as a business owner. You're trying to balance out a combination of different things of growing your business, putting the right people in place, in addition to always looking at the different areas of where the cash flow is coming in, where the cash flow is, where the expenses are going out. And I find that, just like myself and many others, it's just really getting balance on a daily basis and saying, what is your productivity activity time, right? What is it that you're doing today that you can control? We all have the vision of where we're trying to go to, but sometimes the struggle is doing the daily activity while having the vision of where you're trying to go to, and at the same time sharing it with the people around you. And majority of the time, the struggle is not so much what you are trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go to, but it's sometimes maybe the people that are around you in your team life or whatever that don't see the vision, and they're looking for the result. And you, if you've been in business long enough, you understand that sometimes you don't see the result, but you're seeing the small little wins, the small little activity, the small little things that are getting better each day. And you know it, but sometimes the people around you don't know it or don't understand it. And so today's webinar is really just to help with individuals who may be struggling in some of these areas. So today was a little bit of a stressful week. I started a new contract with city contract. We have a commercial lawn care company, and so this week we're starting a large contract, which is exciting. But at the same time, it's a lot of moving parts, right? And you're dealing with a lot of territory, a lot of property, and so that gives my current team that we've been doing, for a long time. We've been doing a pretty fair, well business, but now we've just taken on this whole nother elephant that is going to be a good opportunity. But at the same time, it makes me wonder a little bit, am I biting off too much that I can chew? Am I ready? Or really, it's more of the people that are around me. Are they ready? And you have a lot of different opinions, and you have to kind of, as a leader, be willing to listen and at the same time implement and get suggestions versus what you think. And so I've always been a type of leader that I want the input from the individuals in the field, at the same time giving some different pointers through the process of what I see and what they might not see. So that it really is, when you're growing a business, whether it's online or offline, it's really a laser beam focused mindset of understanding daily what you have to do, and at the same time helping the people around you understand what they have to do and implement small little successes or small little things that create a little wins, right? So tonight I got home and I said, you know what, let me just do this on a chat GPT, and I'm going to share with you just my screen so we can kind of stay on point, but at the same time point out some things that I feel what I'm seeing for a lot of people, and this can help you. So if you don't use ChatGPT, I find it's just another way of just kind of helping you with some certain things, or kind of just some things in there of what I felt, some areas. So growing your business without burnout, strategies for success and self-care. So the brief overview of the purposes webinar is potentially to help individuals who are in a business or looking to start a business. So you're already in a business and you're either a solopreneur or you might have a small team, and you're trying to each day kind of cast the vision of where are you going and what you need to do. And each day you're trying to figure out, okay, different ways of getting more awareness, getting more exposure. And with me, what I've gone through with different businesses through my life, and I'm just going to share with you the brief story that I've been in the insurance, real estate business majority of my life. I have had some different businesses, whether it's a coffee business. I started a podcast studio real short period of time. That was a failure because I started it too quick, but it's a great story because I learned very quickly what not to do and what to do. The lawn care business has been about 9 years, and these are all six-figure kind of businesses that I've developed through the years. But at the same time, there's successes and there's failures. And why did some of them not grow to the levels that I wanted them to grow to? And it was a combination of me not being ready, leadership, teamwork, some outside exposures, insurance industry. A lot of changes have occurred over the last few years, and the companies change their commission structures and things of that nature. Real estate industry has been really a big issue. I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana area. So the biggest issue with Louisiana right now is really insurance, and also the interest rates. And the lawn care business has been a good business. So I tell everyone that you want to kind of have a little bit of diversification with some things that you're doing over time, but you want to focus on one. So I know when people say, Renee, why don't you focus on one business? And I try, but at the same time, certain things that I do have to do, like this marketing and these webinars, why do I do them? Because I've learned throughout the years that I can't count on traditional marketing companies to help me get the exposure that I'm trying to do for any of my businesses. And instead of putting my money into those companies over time, I've started learning and teaching myself that this is my future marketing. This is my way of, over time, building my awareness, building another type of side income actually with it, but at the same time, also helping me grow my brand, grow my business, right? And that really is why I do these webinars. And that's why I do like teaching. I've always been a teacher. I always find that most people, they're looking for information, look for education. Sometimes they get totally confused with all the different things that are out there. So I want to make it very clear that when you're starting a business, you've got to have the sales. You got to always be selling and promoting your business. And that's really always number one, right? You got to always look at how to use these channels, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, social media channels, of how to consistently be promoting yourself and your business. And sometimes by doing this and becoming influencer or educator or whatever, it also kind of helps you in your own business to kind of start seeing some different things. So when I do these webinars or the different things that I share is all to help you if you're a business owner already, you're a solopreneur, or if you're kind of just trying to figure out what to do. I always say that really just starting with on a daily basis, just trying to figure out, okay, where are you? What do you need to do today to get you closer with whatever business you have? And that all starts with building relationships. It all starts with putting your word out there, communicating, collaborating. Today I had a meeting with my cousin and a few other people in my sphere to really kind of give me their input and their insight. And by bringing those individuals in, sometimes you think that you can do a lot of things, but the best way to do it is by bringing other people in, because my friend Bruce is good at doing some spreadsheets, and he's a little bit more anal about numbers and calculations and all. So we can take all that information, put it into a Excel spreadsheet, and that's going to spit out over the next few days something that's going to help me kind of see a little bit bigger picture. A good friend of mine, Days, he's in construction, but he's also worked with me with our company. So I brought him in to kind of look at everything, and then so he has a little input. So I tell everybody that we all need support, and we all need somebody in our lives to help us kind of see things from a different perspective, and at the same time grow. Some people are trying to do it by themselves, and they're wondering why they're struggling, and it's because they're not being open. I have so many different stories, whether it's, again, successes and failures. Even my business right now, this was a hard year in 2024, probably one of my hardest years that I went through, because I lost a big account last year. I lost another big account this past year. And it's all due to really just a little bit on my team. And at the same time, a little bit on just some factors that I couldn't control. I do contracts with companies that are national companies. And sometimes you can't count on those companies because they lost a contract. That was like a $150,000 contract last year that I had no control over because they had the contract. So they lost it, I lost it. And so I tell everyone again that you really kind of have to really always be looking at what's going to happen. Don't ever get comfortable. And that's where, again, when you're looking at whether it's you're building your brand, your awareness, or whatever it may be, is constantly be looking at how can you get yourself out there more on these social media channels, being an educator or influencer or information or whatever it may be, so people can kind of get to know you, like you, and trust you, so you can start building your own channels in different areas. So the common challenges that I find is through the years in all of my different businesses, it's always cash flow, right? And marketing and key partnerships, scaling operations. So these are the basic common challenges: cash flow, marketing, finding key partnerships, and scaling operations. So we go through cash flow. So if you're like my business is a very heavy cash flow business because I have equipment, I got workers, I got machines, trucks, and everything else. So it's more of a high issue to where I have a lot of expenses. And then so the cash flow, sometimes if you have a bottleneck, whether it's certain companies that aren't paying you on time, things of that nature, that puts a lot of strain. So I'm always trying to figure out how to keep expenses down so I can be always in a position to where I'm not getting behind, right? And that's a struggle. With real estate, the same thing. You can have a lot of real estate and things happen. Like Hurricane Katrina happened here years ago. And I was like, man, all my properties went underwater in one night. So if you can relate to that story, just like right now, you have fires in California. There's a lot of income properties and producing real estate individuals in these areas of California that's their income. And so it's a lot of things that are affecting people across the world today. And you have to kind of start thinking outside the box. And the reason I kind of keep my lawn care business, because it's something that's really not going to stop, because everybody needs the grass cuts, things of that nature. So that's really been a sustainable business throughout the years. But it's always cash flows. You got to figure out how to get the money coming in, how to manage the money, how to pay down expenses, how to prioritize it, and also put yourself in a position where you can have extra cash for expenses or things that come up. Right now with my business, I have to invest into some more equipment so I can be able to expand and grow a little bit more with some more workers. So I need more people because I have more properties now. So I'm always kind of having to deal with the cash flow challenges of money coming in, money going out, figuring out how to plan for the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, or whatever for things, right? So that's the first thing. So marketing, the reason you want to focus on marketing on a daily basis. Now I'm pretty busy. So when people say that I don't have time to do that, or why do you put so much time into whether I'm doing a webinar or certain things? Because I'm the only one that can control my marketing. If I'm not putting the time and energy and effort into creating content, and I consider it content into cash flow, and I'm probably going to be creating a program about this, because content equals cash flow. Sometimes you might not see it immediately, but I would say this past year, some of the content over the last 2 years that I've been doing have opened up exposure with people who I haven't seen or even known in different areas, cities, and states. So when you look at content is nothing more than promoting what you do or your likes or your information and education, because over time, it does pay off. And like I said, sometimes you might not see it on the actual time today, but you're going to see it in the future. And you've got to start looking at the future right now, with marketing is changing and advertising is changing. The dollars aren't going towards all the different bigger players anymore. It's going towards some of the smaller players that are in, whether it's YouTube, LinkedIn, things of that nature. And the more that I'm on LinkedIn, the more that really I'm getting more opportunities from LinkedIn than any other platform at this point. My YouTube's growing a little bit gradual, but the LinkedIn platform is growing a lot faster. So if you are on here and you're watching me, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, whatever, take me very seriously when I say this, that you want to put time into learning LinkedIn. You want to put time into learning YouTube. You want to put and do your stuff. Don't worry about being perfect. I know that I'm not perfect. I know that this video, some things are not perfect. I understand that. And I'm just at a point to where I really am not sitting here trying to be perfect. I'm trying to just be real. And what I share with individuals, that you want to just be authentic and understand, hey, you're not going to be perfect, and you don't have to be perfect, because there is nobody who's perfect. And the more that you really start studying individuals, whether it's on YouTube or LinkedIn, over the last year, 2, 3 years, individuals are growing quickly that have no experience whatsoever on business. But because they are good at promoting and marketing, they created their own persona and they created their own lifestyle because they're consistently on these channels. And these channels actually become a part of your business plan over time. So this is part of my business plan. So my lawn care business is an income cash flow. So my course over the next few years is to reduce any debts, pay off equipment, pay off machines, etc. That's part of my retirement plan. Now, I may sell it somewhere down the line, but at this point, I'm looking at keeping it because I'm seeing people who are 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. And because they never put the time into building a plan or building a cash flow or business or whatever, they don't have enough money to retire. And I say this with all reality, that if you're planning to retire one day and you don't have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million plus sitting somewhere in different accounts, not on one, different accounts, you will not succeed. You will not retire. And I see this from personal experiences with friends of mine who are in their 60s and 70s who have done very well through their years, but they had to go back in debt to create income because they realized, wow, wait a second, I didn't have enough money to retire and to live the same lifestyle. And some are in this fantasy land that you can keep on living this lifestyle, but not having no cash flow coming in. That's why I'm working very diligently on not only myself, but also others around me to understand that you have to wake up and know that if you don't put the time in today with doing your current businesses, learning new skills, putting the time and energy into these platforms, you're just not going to have a very good end. And I get scared about that, right? I live in fear every day that I get hurt, I get sick before. I've had different things in different places in my life to where I tell everyone that you can't get comfortable. In insurance business, real estate business, those two industries have changed for me throughout the years that put me into this, wow, I gotta recreate the wheel, because expenses, especially for real estate right now, where I'm at least, I think across the country, people are starting to get to the point just with real estate. It's like, man, this property is just not cash flowing anymore. And back in the day when I first started in 2000, it was easier. Insurance wasn't that expensive, interest rates and things of that nature. So a lot of things have affected a lot of people that planned on just real estate. You can have annuities, you can have all these different investment programs, but again, when you're getting your money out at retirement time, you might be taxed on that money. So these are different things that I'm sharing with you from a perspective of what I am seeing in not only my own personal life, but also what I'm seeing with people who are around me that are going through struggles. So that's a little bit of the real world examples of businesses and tackling issues that you really need to start daily, just consistently focusing on where are you. It's like a GPS system, and just consistently saying, okay, what am I doing today that's getting me closer to, one, getting more clients, figuring out how to get more traffic, how to get your name out there and building your marketing. So those are the main areas that it's always cash flow, what's coming in, what's going out. So that's number one. Number two is marketing. What am I doing today to build more potential clients and getting more traffic, right? And you got to always be considering different aspects of LinkedIn, YouTube, things of that nature, putting content together consistently. And I did share this with some people earlier, that when you look at marketing right now, you got to be consistently putting things out there. And I'm talking 5-6 pieces per day. So some are like, man, how can you do that? But as I'm doing what I'm doing, that I'm just working, a transportation business, this. So I'm constantly working, but at the same time, throughout the day, I do content. So instead of waiting for when I get home, I'm doing content sometimes on my downtime. So I find time throughout the day to create content. And if you can learn how to just get this mindset that every day is productive, that you got to consistently look at every hour, that is very important to where, what is it that you have to do to keep things going today? So I was in meetings and I was in the field today with my crew. So I didn't do any content. Now I actually took some pictures and some video, but I'll do probably later. But I'm always thinking as I'm doing my processes, how can I turn this into content that's going to help me get more potential business, more awareness? And that's how you look at yourself every single day and every single minute of the day. You have to be consistently thinking, how am I going to grow my business and get more awareness and get more exposure? So my game plan is, like I said earlier, have different things that I plan on having over the course of the next few years in place. But at the same time, I'm using these channels to also build my brand, build my consulting business, potentially get into the point to where I can make this my really number one over the course of the years. But it's going to take time for it to become number one. This is probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life out of all the businesses, because it does take some learning on how to do certain things. And that's where the good thing about like ChatGPT, it kind of helps you. So all these different AI channels, don't get feared with them. Look at them as how they're going to change. We went to a McDonald's today with my crew, and we noticed that, actually they noticed, and they started bringing to my awareness, that they used to have the Coke machines out there, right? They took the Coke machines away. So you can't get refills anymore. And the people, you can't go to the counter, you have to go to the machine. So all the different majority of the name brand locations like McDonald's are changing to where you're having to go to the machine. You don't go to the person. You can't get the drinks that you used to. So just in that little scenario, things are changing very quickly. AI is changing from the perspective that it's starting to really see that you can have more things and more things done without people, which gets it done faster, 24/7, 365. So these are, again, some areas that I'm seeing with the real world factors. So going on to finding, one more thing on finding key partnerships and scaling operations. So again, key partnerships, and when I say partnerships, it's just individuals. Like today, I had to bring in a few people that have different experiences from different areas that can help me with how to grow and take care of a lot more property with less people. And instead of me hiring a whole bunch of people, I'm just sub. So I sub out sometimes versus hiring more people or more equipment, because they already got the leadership. I don't have to teach them. They know how to work. They got their own equipment. They got everything. So I just got to give them assignments on what properties they can go do. So these are all the different areas of, when I say partnerships, I connect with people who can bring value to me. At the same time, I can bring value to them. It's a win-win situation. That's all we are in this world. That partnerships, that you might see some things that I'm doing and I might see some things you're doing, is that instead of me charging you for my consulting, instead of you charging me for your consulting, maybe together we can probably build something bigger, right? So that's how I work with people, to figure out how can we work together to help each other. So my friend Dace is in construction, so he's working on some construction jobs that will bring us business in the future. At the same time, I've helped him with certain things. So it's a win-win situation partnership. So when I say partnerships, I find people in my life that I can work with, that we can help each other in different areas. When I say scaling operations, scaling is nothing more than, again, strategically figuring out how to put people or processes or systems in place that can monetize and automate. I'm always looking at my social media channels as my automation. so I can get things working while I'm not working. So when I do this video and it goes out live, this is going to be out there in the universe to where when I'm sleeping later on, it's working. So when I say automations, you have to get really focused on using the social media channels as your way of working 24/7, 365, and getting into the search engines and across the world. You never know where it's going to be, that it can help you grow your awareness, your brand, whatever it may be that you're doing. So finding and building key partnerships. Again, just on this topic, I'm not going to go too much on this, and I'm going to keep this video as short as possible. Identifying potential partners who align with your vision. I think I shared with you that a little bit. I got ahead of myself a little bit on that one. But I think if you just focus on, again, people that you feel have certain strengths that you might not have, or certain things that you can bring value together. So again, every day I'm always talking to certain individuals who can communicate together, share the vision with each other, how we can help each other support. That's where that comes in. Building trust and creating win-win collaborations. Again, every single thing that I'm doing with individuals is all about a win-win. I'm not looking to take, I'm looking to help. So I'm always looking to serve people. The reason I do this channel, the reason I do this webinar is because as a business person, which is 99% of my life, I enjoy learning, but at the same time, I have struggles. I have things that I've, again, succeeded with and failed. So I feel that it's an obligation to where if I can teach other people certain things that what I have done, I have learned or not learned, whatever, these are just different things that we can help each other be supportive in our journey, right? Tips for maintaining healthy business relationships. Again, making sure you always are giving, making sure that you're always kind of just there for individuals who are like-minded. And when you work with certain individuals that are like-minded, that they know we all got each other's back. Managing cash flow and marketing effectively, practical strategies for cash flow management. Again, just really, if you have QuickBooks, I have a sheet that I keep track of all my different debts. When I do things of that nature, I have a game plan on how to strategize and what things I want to pay off. And I'm always kind of looking at my other invoicing platform to where I can see exactly projecting where the money's coming from, how much is out there. I stay on top of companies pretty much. I try not to let companies go behind. But at the same time, I have certain companies that they don't pay me for 45 to 75 days. And so that affects cash flow. But you got to always be attacked, whether you're a small business by yourself, you got to run your life like a business. And again, I'm not perfect at this. I've had challenges in my own life when you look at trying to grow a business, that you have your credit score as a factor, your bank statements, having the profit and loss statements, all these different areas and interest that you have to have in place to be able to grow. And then like right now, I'm looking at different relationships that I got to partner with to help maybe scale for cash flow things, right? So you're always kind of having to figure out how to balance what you got, understand what you got, where you are, and try not to make too many decisions that's going to get you further ahead. Because again, you can get yourself trapped into things that you thought were going to come through, but didn't come through. Been there, done that. I can tell you stories on that another time. How to pivot strategies when results aren't as expected. Again, you got to constantly be thinking how to pivot. You got to constantly be thinking of how to move. Something's going to block you. Something's going to come this way. You got to constantly be thinking not only with yourself, but also the people around you, and getting some advice or different things to where what do you have to do to pivot. And that's where like this marketing concept of why I'm doing these webinars, why do I do social media, why do I do certain things, because I've learned that over the course of the years that because I didn't put all the time and energy into doing this, I could have been bigger. My channels could have been bigger because I didn't really focus on or thinking that, well, I'll wait until when it's ready. That's where the biggest mistake comes in. So if all I can say to you tonight is that take your opportunity to build your social media channels, whether it's a LinkedIn, whether it's YouTube, social media, Facebook, whatever. Take the time now to start putting in the energy into learning and executing. You're not going to learn this stuff in a book. You're not going to learn how to do a video, a webinar. You're not going to learn how to do all this stuff until you do it. So it's very important that you focus on that. So number 5 is protecting your mind and surrounding yourself with support. I'm not going to spend 20 minutes on that. I'm going to be very specific on this one. The importance of mental health for enterprises. So entrepreneurs, you have to protect this. You have to protect your mind. And to protect your mind, it takes you the due diligence to listen to videos and people and others that are where you want to be. That's going to give you the stimulation of helping you learn faster. And that's really important today in today's world, because you can get yourself in conversations or surrounding with people who just don't bring energy to where you're trying to go to. So all it's going to do is just deplete you, bring you down, and you have to protect that as much as possible. I'm direct on some of the things that I do and say, and I find that some people might take that the wrong way, but it's like, I'm just trying to say the facts are that if you're not promoting and marketing your business, who is going to do it for you? You can't count on social media. You can't count on any of these things to do it for you until you do it. And if you're not putting the content out there for people to get to know who you are and everything else, I don't know what else to do. So the mental toughness is, again, focusing on people and things and videos or whatever to help you protect this and get more educated, more knowledgeable and everything. Recognizing toxic influences and replacing them with supportive network. Again, on that subject is just, again, replacing conversations or people that are toxic to you and try to put in more areas where it's bringing you closer to your goal. Tools and habits to stay focused and resistant or resilient. Again, I do YouTube on a daily basis. I watch a lot of different channels, or try to whenever I have downtime. And I try to focus on individuals that are going to give me more knowledge on either self-improvement, marketing, different little things that I can get something that's going to help me get closer and better at my trade and my skill, and how to get, understand the social media, marketing and things of that nature. These are the different things that I find for me helps me kind of stay focused, because I'm constantly learning each day of how to do certain things. So avoiding self-sabotage, understanding common self-sabotaging behaviors, procrastination, perfectionism. Two things. I mean, procrastination, you're going to sit here and wait to do things. You're going to sit here, I'm not going to do a video. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I talk. I don't like certain things. But I'm telling you that you can't procrastinate. You just got to do. You just got to start doing something. And when you do something, the perfectionism, you're not going to be perfect. So get that out of your mind that you're not going to be perfect. You go back to all the different videos and channels of all the different people out there at this point. They're not always all perfect. And they especially didn't start all perfect. They might be better at this point, but at the same time, they all started somewhere. So tips for building self-awareness and breaking negative patterns. Again, I think exposure to people that are where you want to be, exposure to learning, exposure to whether, again, YouTube or different people in your support system. I have a school program to where I invite people into the community, because I'm just trying to give as much information and value that I possibly can to help people keep on looking at different ways of growing that they might not be exposing themselves to because they're not aware. How to stay true to your brand's core values while adapting to growth. Sometimes I think that's challenging, but if you just stay focused on what you feel comfortable with and how you're teaching, how you're coaching, how you want to build your brand, how you want to build your company, I always look at it as a win-win situation. And if I can just cause an effect with either the people around me, whether it's workers, whether it's clients, that it's a win-win situation, I think that's probably the best way to just do the right thing at the right time, and you'll be fine. So I don't know if there's any other different things that people want to talk about on here tonight. This is just a quick pop on. It was supposed to be at 7:00 tonight. I've been on the road, and I had to postpone it, so I do apologize for that. But I'm hoping that this gave you some insight. I'll be creating a newsletter a little bit more on this topic that I feel will help individuals that want to learn more about our support group, our different ways of how we all can communicate and basically share some information on how to help each other in our businesses, whether it's an online business or an offline business. So I'll be doing continuously different webinars and different things of that nature to help individuals just kind of with different areas. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. leave a message, DM. Not sure where this is going to be on LinkedIn, but I think this channel here is my best place where I'm on more on a daily basis and everything. So if you want to send me a message, please feel free to do so. Thank you very much for your time tonight. I hope you got some value out of it. Renee Manfrey, bye-bye.